Alrighty. Well, it is, what is today? November 6th? Yes, it is November 6th. And we are done with harvest. We're done putting in our cover crop. So it is time to put things away and get them ready for winter. So we're going to start. I already got the corn head done. It's cleaned up. I oiled the chains, blew it off. I might put a tarp over it if I can find one that's, you know, so-so, because I'm sure it'll get tore up. I might have one. That's done. What we're going to do next is the grain drill, because it's in the way and it needs cleaned out. I planted rye with it yesterday. It was a miserable day yesterday. The wind was blowing at about Mach Jesus, and just awful. So we got just a little bit of seed left in it. It needs vacuumed out, and we'll broadcast it somewhere. Get that done. I need to take a gander at this thing, why it's all bent. I know why that's bent, because it's just a cheap piece of steel. But I had this chain pop off when I was drilling, and there's a part of the field that was totally planned. It's going to be a check strip for cover crop for soybeans. I mean, I totally planned it. It wasn't an accident. I wanted that chain to pop off. So there's a area that's not planted. I don't know how big it is. I couldn't seem to find seed even behind the drill after I fixed it, so I know it was coming out, but it's just hard to find seed sometimes because the drill just doesn't plant right in that nice little trench that the no-till cultures make. So I mean, just whatever, it's there, it's cover crop, not that worried about it. But I need to look at that at some point, and I need a jack for this thing. So it has this welded on here, and you might be able to see there's a piece of metal in there that's broke off and stuck, and I can't get the jack in there. So I'm going to try to get this piece of metal out. We'll walk over here, get it out, so I can just, the jack I have will fit into that hole, or we're going to have to cut it off, and the jack that I have came with one. So I imagine we could probably just maybe smash that down in a little bit and pull it out, or get the torch, or I think we can get it out. It's just going to take some effort. And then once this is done, it'll get parked up front where it was. We're going to go and get the combine all blown out, cleaned up, and prepped for its winter slumber, which doesn't take too much. I mean, it'd probably be an hour or two to get this puppy all cleaned up. I was thinking about washing it. It's got a lot of corn dust on it, but I don't know if I want to power wash it or not. I'll probably just blow it off. And then I got a toolbox for it. I'm not going to mount it outside. I'm going to put it in the cab, and it's going to be for the chains for the head, for the corn head and the grain head, and it's going to have some wrenches in it. Really the only wrenches I need for this combine within reason are a 1/2 inch, a 9/16, a 3/4, and a 15/16. So I'm going to put those in there, and I need a set of pliers. I don't even really need a screwdriver or nothing. That's it's about all I need. And if I can find a hammer, I'm going to make a list of stuff that I want in the toolboxes, and if I don't have it, I'll go buy it. But I want to do the toolbox for the combine, this tractor, and the Farmall M. Just some basic tools to have in them, so I don't have to be running back and forth. Why is that tire so dirty? It's like oil. What's going on here? Oh, I bet I know why. I bet that was leaking. And that is dust and dirt from, I bet that's what that is. But this tractor had a mostly complete toolbox, and it got robbed and got other crap in it, and same with the Farmall M. So anyways, let me get stuff rounded up. We'll try to get this drill taken care of. Well, that's all cleaned out now. That's about all I do for the grain drill. I need to weld this tab back on. It was so windy. I don't know why I did that. There's no tab on there. I got the tab right there. It was so windy yesterday. I stopped to get off to check for seed, and as I was walking around back here, both lids blew up. That's how windy it was. Ridiculous. So, now we'll move on to the hitch, or the jack. Okay, I got the old piece out. All I did was use a chisel and a hammer, and I got it out. But it's kind of oblonged, so I cut a little bit off, and I still can't get the jack in it, so we'll just weld that new piece on right there, and then maybe cut this off one day or leave it. I mean, it don't really matter. I can store the jack in that piece right there. So let me I gotta move a lot of stuff because my welding cord doesn't reach all the way to this end of the barn, and I can really only weld right here where this Farmall M is, and that's not gonna work. So I gotta pick my cord up, take it to the other end of the barn, move my truck out of the way, and drive this all the way around. So I'll be back in probably 15 minutes. Alrighty, the jack is on, the stops are in place, and I even welded that little guy back on. So this is ready to sit for the winter. So while I'm on the tractor and moving it around, I'm going to hook up to the bush hog and get it ready for what I like to do at the end of the year is mow everything I can. You know, the leaves have died off the grass and the weeds, so I can see what I'm going to run over and destroy, and stuff that I've forgotten about and things like that. But go around and do some mowing and just clean up around field edges and stuff like that. And I have to get a shear bolt for this. I forgot that this broke last year when I was using it, so I haven't used it since. So there's that. We'll add that to the list of things to do later on, but we'll get her hooked up and then we'll work on the combine. Well, the mower's hooked up and I found the shear bolt. Looks like the nuts just come off of it and it fell out and landed on the deck. So all I gotta do is get some nuts for that. Anyways, let's move on to this beast. See if we can get this done before dark. Shouldn't take too long. I'm gonna run it around to the other side of the barn, all my air hoses over there. Dad and Wyatt were working on his truck, so they had all the air hoses out the other end. But we'll get you a cold start here. Okay, we got the combine blowed off about as best as I can get it. You want to get anywhere chaff will rest, every little nook and cranny the best you can. Like I said, this probably could use a good washing, since it's, you know, sat forever and then went to work and it sat for God knows how long with chaff on it. Air does an alright job. I think water would do a little bit better, and then go through and grease it. So I got just about everything cleaned out the way I want it. There's a bunch of chaff up in here, in behind that hole down behind the shaker pan. I'll have to look into see how I get that clean better, but when you're going around blowing it out, you want to look, you know, loose chains. I know this chain's loose here. It kept popping off when I was doing my double crops. I didn't have a wrench to tighten it. And I noticed here this bearing housing's cracked, and this box shakes side to side and it's not supposed to. So I wonder if that could be the cause. You could have a bent shaft, bad bushings, which I'll probably go through and put new bushings on it next year before we use it. It's blown off. Now what I'll do, I'll go around and I got used oil and a brush, and I'll oil all the chains. I'll probably have it running and just, you know, be careful, you know, that kind of thing. I ain't gonna videotape because, you know, that's dangerous. But do that, and then I'll shut everything off and we will oil the cutter bar with some used oil. Some of these sections are gonna need replaced before we use it next year. There's one in particular right here that's cracked, busted. The rest of them seem fairly decent for now. So the good thing about these is they're bolt on. You just change the bolts, pull the bolts off and change them. So I'm gonna go through and oil this, and then we'll bring you back and I'll blow the bin and the cab out. I haven't done the bin yet, so let's get her done. Well, it's time change weekend, so it's 2:30 here and it's dark. I'm just kidding, it's like 5:30. What time? Oh, no, the phone's in the wrong pocket. Let's see if I can get it out. It is 6 o'clock right now. And it's not pitch black, but it's dark enough you guys can't see. But I got her in her winter condition for now. Eventually, we're gonna get that green truck out of there, and this will be in there for winter. But we blew it all off. You guys, I mentioned that. One thing I forgot to mention is I take the rattle chain cover off. I got that up in the cab right there. I just started putting it in the cab now because I forgot to put it on when I started beans this year. I think I forgot to put it on when I started wheat this year. So it lives in the cab now. Took that off, blew that all out. Everything's all blown off. I vacuumed the cab out. I got the ladder up right to get in there, but see, I got me a nice orange toolbox in there, and then the solid cover for the one elevator, and I got a glass cleaner bottle and a starting fluid bottle back there. And I got the toolbox stocked with a 1/2 inch, 9/16 and 3/4 deep socket, shallow socket, and wrench with a crescent wrench, some pliers, and a screwdriver. So that's all good. A few things I need to fix before next year. I'm saying this in this video so I remember. My ladder's bent. It needs straightened. Let's go around and look here. Is there anything on this side that I noticed? I don't think so. Got the grain heads finally standing up the way it's supposed to be. I gotta go through and fix this. That bracket there is broke at the bottom. That was my own fault. On the combine here, that chain needs tightened. We gotta look at that bearing and a pulley up there, or a sprocket up there that's wobbling. And on the front end of this, I know you guys get a flashlight video, aren't you proud? So that pulley there rubs real bad and the bushings are out in that. The one on the parts machine's good, so we'll probably take the one off the parts machine and put on here. This spring is actually off the parts machine. To change this over to the 20-inch pulley, you got to loosen this spring up. Well, the one that was on this machine was froze up and I ended up breaking the bolt right about there. So that's off the parts machine. It's well lubed up, but I want to change that sprocket or pulley mechanism over so that's not rubbing. That is razor sharp. And even the one on the other combine that I got with this one, that's rubbed and wore. So I'll take this off and I'll see if the machine shop can't make a bushing for that, and we'll have a good one. But she's in her winter home for now. I got her on a slant so that way water will run out of the grain bin and everything. So yeah, we got what I wanted to get done today. Combine winterized, the grain drill winterized. The only other thing that I want to do before winter is get some of this stuff cleaned up, get my gravity wagons in their home, do some mowing, stuff like that. But with it getting dark early, doing stuff outside I got to do first, and then I can work in the shop the rest of the day. So that's probably what I'll do for a little bit later tonight and then go home. But I don't think there's anything else that I need to cover on this. So that's basically, if you don't have room to store your machine inside, that's about how you want to have it, so you can store it outside for the winter. So anyways, catch you guys on the next one.